Welcome to the Reddit on Reddit podcast. My name is Maverick, and I am joined as always by the one and only Ducktergoose. Have you come across ridiculous stories on Reddit and around the web? Well, we are here to finally talk about it. Every podcast, we pick a few select bits of insanity from the internet, break them down, and give our opinions like they actually matter. If you don't know who I am, I stream on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Time, playing games and having the weirdest conversations about life. Ducktergoose is my wife. She's a part-time Twitch streamer and full-time dog mom who seems to always find the best Am I the Asshole or straight up Reddit ridiculousness to discuss when it ends up in my inbox. Ducktergoose, welcome to the show. Do you have some internet insanity to share with us? I'm ready to dive in.
Oh, you know I do.
What do you got for me this week?
Oh, let me tell you, we've got Dad thinks his work is more important than his daughter's. Gets a reality
that's
check
good.
online.
Okay, perfect.
Call center dismisses a new hire after they stepped away from the camera for 10 minutes.
Ooh, a work from home story.
Yeah. And then we have the lovely, switching over to Reddit, am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend and her sister to cover up?
Oh, boy. You can see where that's going to go. Okay.
Danger.
What else you got?
The very last one, I have professor has own research paper mansplained to her by a friend.
Ooh. I think I've heard something like that before.
Yeah. It's happened a couple of times. Yeah. I don't know. It just keeps happening.
If you guys hear, I have a dog in my lap, and he likes to lick my hand. So if you guys hear some rustling, that's the...
or if you hear a little woof.
That's the...
It might be him too.
Yeah.
Sometimes he yawns into the microphone.
Yep, he likes to tell chat what's going on.
That's true.
All right, you want to start?
Yep.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So the first two are Am I the Assholes, but they've been written up by Bored Panda.
Yep.
Because Bored Panda likes to do that. So instead of calling them Am I the Assholes, Bored Panda likes to say r/am I the parentheses jerk parentheses. Like, that's not how that goes.
Try to make it a little bit more family friendly, I see.
I guess probably.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
What do you got?
And then they just post the whole Reddit thread.
Right.
Which is whatever. Okay. Am I the asshole for asking my daughter for help? That doesn't sound too bad, right? I'm going to go yes. Just kidding. All right, let's go. I'm 54. My daughter is 28. She is home on break from grad school getting her PhD. All right, I have thoughts already.
I already have thoughts.
She's only home for 2 weeks because she says she doesn't have any more time, even though she has a month break.
Okay.
Yep. It's starting out well.
Yeah, starting out well already.
That's been a big thing with her lately. She is constantly too busy, that's spelled wrong, to do things with us or help us, even though she does have the time.
How do you spell busy wrong?
No, two.
Oh.
They used the wrong two.
Gotcha. Okay.
I got my younger daughter a sweater, and it turns out she already has it. Good job.
Okay.
I called my older daughter from work on Friday and told her she needed to run and exchange it for a different one. She said okay, she'd do it the next day. They said it needed to be done that day to get the best options.
What?
I don't know. And she said she was great. Why can't the other daughter go run and exchange it if she... What?
If she doesn't like it or she's already got it, just be like, just give her the receipt and go exchange it.
Then she can pick out what she wants.
Okay.
Anyways, and she said she was grading, so she can't. Yep, been there.
Yep.
I told her that it's not like she can't pause her grading, run out, and exchange it. Time out.
I mean, unless she's got a timeline that she has to get them in by.
Right. You don't know that. Also, Let me tell you, you can't. Once you're in the flow, you don't want to break that. I don't care what you're grading.
But also, has definitely been there.
Yeah, right. I didn't have to grade all of the 250 tests in one night because the other TA left the country.
No.
What? That didn't happen.
No, definitely not.
Yes, it did. Anyways, but why can't he just pause whatever he's doing and go and do it?
Truth.
Poopy pants.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, calling him out. Poopy pants.
Watch your language. No, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Let me tell you, there was one I was gonna do because I read it to Maverick earlier, and we were dying laughing. But I'm like, there is no way that I can make this family-friendly.
No, it involved fecal matter.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe we'll have to do a special
We'll have to do
18 plus episode or something.
Yeah, but
It's like a content warning.
very much so. Anyways, sorry.
Back on tour.
Back on track. She said she wasn't going to slow down her work and just said that I should do it when I got back from work that day. Good for her.
Good job.
Good job. I said I was busy too, again spelled wrong, and didn't like running and didn't feel like running out after a long day of work. And she said, well, neither did she.
Ooh.
That's right. Snaps all around. Good for her.
Get some.
But she doesn't. Sorry, I read the next sentence. But she doesn't have, quote, a long day of work.
Ooh.
You have to read it like that because I imagine that's how he's typing it out.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. That's why it's a quote. She's sitting on her A all day, on her patootie, on her computer all day long.
As we know, those of us who work on computers all day, it's not an actual job.
Right.
It's not a real job.
My whole life.
Yeah.
And doesn't even have scheduled hours to work. So she can do whenever she wants. Clearly, timeout. This man has never had to deal with grading college exams ever.
No.
Ever.
No.
Not to mention, she's also working on her PhD. And Poopy Pants didn't say what field it was in, so he really doesn't care.
No, clearly not. He clearly isn't proud of her.
No. Today, things really kicked off because I needed her to go pick up an online order for a gift for my mom, her grandma. Well, she again used the excuse of grading. She hadn't even started working yet. It was in the morning, and she was drinking coffee and having breakfast. Then if he was home, why couldn't he go do it?
Or have it sent to your house?
Go get it.
You can have shipped to home.
Also, if she's at home and you are out driving, you could go get it.
Yeah, this guy sounds lazy as hell.
Sounds like a turd.
He's taking advantage of his kids, it sounds like to me.
He sounds like one of those I am the master of the house people.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah.
She said that she needs to have her grades done by today, but it got worse. But I looked it up on the website.
Oh, of course he did.
And she has until Monday evening. So I called her on her BS. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And she said she had other work to do on Monday, so she needed to get the grading done today. But wouldn't enlighten me on this mysterious other work.
Out of all the things a hill to die on, you're going to die on this.
This is the hill. Yeah,
this is what you're going to die on?
We have 4 more.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 4 more chunks.
Worse. It's going to get worse, guys.
Here we come.
Before it gets better.
It gets worse.
Okay, here we go.
I said, well, tough.
Strap in.
This needs to be picked up today so I can wrap it. And I was going into the office, so I couldn't do it. Because, the cars, they only go one place.
Cars are like trains. They only go one way.
Just one way. That's it. Cannot veer.
He can only go to home and back with his... Maybe he's on house arrest and he can only go to work and back.
Maybe there's some secret backstory
maybe he has a wrist or an ankle monitoring system.
Or bear with me on this one. Maybe he's just a jerk.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. She said that if I don't want to do it myself, then it will be done on her own time. Again, good for her.
Yes.
Standing up to this turd.
Ooh.
I told her with that attitude, she can stay somewhere else. And she said, happily, and packed her things, claiming she didn't want to stay here anyway. I wonder why. But was only doing so because I insisted.
Ooh.
Shocking.
He insisted, now he's taking advantage of her.
Yeah.
Good.
Exactly. She said, she left her gifts and said not to expect her for the holidays, and she'll go to her girlfriend's family instead. I think it's ridiculous that she's throwing a fit just because she can't constantly live like she's the only person on the planet, but my wife and other daughter is now furious with me.
That's the pot calling the kettle black. Goodness.
Just wait till we get to the replies.
Who's the spoiled brat here? It's definitely not her.
The dad.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd ask here because my younger daughter is always reading the stories with me. Am I the asshole, or am I correct that my daughter is self-centered and childish? One of those things is true, and it's not about your daughter.
He needs to have a come to Jesus talk with himself.
This gets even better.
Okay.
So, for context, if you've never been on Am I the Asshole, it's a thing. You go, here's my post, here's my story, judge me.
Yeah.
And then they do. The internet judges you.
As it always does.
It just does, but
Yep.
right to your face this time. So this is great. Several of the commenters replied with the quote that this parent was, quote, pulling the "I'm your mom and you have to obey me" card, which is great because, as we know, it's the dad. But, But the "I'm your mom and you have to obey me" card works for any parent, no matter the gender. It's just, that's what,
Yeah.
You have to say it like that. I'm your mom and you have to obey me.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a reply, it's great. Here we go. I've never pulled the "I'm your mom and you have to obey me" card. For starters, I'm her dad. And furthermore...
Oh, he's definitely used that.
I simply asked her to pull her weight as a member of this household.
Whoa.
We are a team here. We help each other out when someone needs it. Do we? Or do you just tell everyone what to do?
Yeah.
Right?
This guy's a doctor.
Probably not. No.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's an engineer.
They have a way of being like treating their family like they would treat like a nurse or like an attendant, just being like, "Hey, do this."
Yeah. Who knows? I do wish there was a little more backstory.
Yeah.
I fail to see how staying in bed in your pajamas and type out some comments is, quote, hard work. But that aside, they were urgent because I need to get the wrapping done and gift getting done ASAP. Christmas is in a week and the stores are only going to get busier and busier. And if I wasn't so demanding with the time, she'd put it off until Christmas Eve and we'd all be screwed. Would we?
I feel...
It sounds like you are the only...
I feel like I'm being triggered here.
I know. Why do you think I picked this?
I told your mom today. I went shopping with her mom this morning.
I just read their next reply. And it's great.
I said, I only put jeans on when I leave the house. I spend the rest of my day in sweatpants because I work from home. I stream. I don't,
Yep. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say that.
Apparently that's not apparently what I do isn't a real job. So
not according to this.
Even though I make money doing it, but sure.
What? So the next comment is, do you think grading can only be done at a desk in formal attire? So of course the guy comes back and goes, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's arguably more comfortable position than working an hourly job. Ooh, that explains things. Especially since she only has to read it and give it a grade on the rubric. You know how hard that is?
Yeah, especially if it's like a written...
Because if it's like, okay.
If it's like a written test, as opposed to just being like a Scantron test.
For me, grading was really hard. Yes, there was a time that I had to grade all 250 tests literally overnight. The fact that this person is like, okay, well, no, grading is easy peasy, but clearly this is not like math. So it's not like, here's your work, here's the right answer.
Yeah.
This sounds like it's some sort of writing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to read, which is even harder.
Yeah.
And I know I did a health law class for my master's, and we had our final test was writing out like essays, basically. It was like 2 questions, and we had like 3 hours to do it, and I barely finished. But our grades didn't come back for like a week.
Yeah, I
can't even imagine. So the fact that he's like, well, just has to read it and put it on a rubric, who cares? I'm like, you don't understand. It's bad.
What do you guys think? Who's the asshole here? I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry, but like...
I think it's clearly the dad. Well, yeah. If nothing else, the fact that she said she was doing her work and then she had other work to do and he blew her off and was like, actually, it says you don't have to have the grades until Monday. I'm like, great. She's what?
Yeah.
Still has to do stuff.
Yeah. And she's got her own work to do.
Right.
Her own PhD work to do.
She's working on a PhD work.
When she's not grading.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I can't explain what I do, even to this day, to people.
Yeah.
So why would you expect her to be like, well, fine, let me draw you out a play-by-play of all the work I have to do. Because obviously you're going to belittle it no matter what. So clearly the dad is the asshole.
Yeah, clearly.
I feel like it's almost one of those times where he's just threatened.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Because I've had
probably doesn't have a job that like he's proud of.
Yeah.
And he probably thinks that he's like
or he
feels threatened by
her getting her
like
PhD.
a successful someone being more successful than him in his own household or something. Yeah. That's wow, what a way to start.
Thanks.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
All right. What's the next one?
All right. This one is call center dismissed a new hire after they stepped away from the camera for 10 minutes.
Ooh. I feel like we're going to hear a lot more of these in the future because
I do too.
With so many people working remote jobs and like the companies, always hear horror stories of companies that are like finding ways to monitor their work from home employees. I feel like these are going to become more common.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what do you got?
All right, well, first off, let me just say, I'm not sure which Reddit thread this was on, so I'm not really sure. I know it's not Am I the Asshole, it's just like a story, but
yeah.
So I can't tell you where it's from, but I found it via Board Panda, so it's why.
We get a lot of it from Board Panda.
Yeah, it's just...
Because they like summarize it, and
yeah.
sometimes it's easier to read than when it's on Reddit.
Yep. Okay, so fired 2 hours into new job for going off camera for 10 minutes. Jeez. Dude, I literally never go on camera.
You never have meetings on camera.
No, we have one meeting a year on camera. I just started this new work from home job for a call center.
Oh boy.
Doing training. Okay. My dad came over quickly to grab some pork I bought him from the store. I did not pre-read that sentence, so my brain got really confused. So I messaged on the Zoom meeting, be right back, while I quickly got him his food. Not even 10 minutes later, I come back and the trainer tells me to check my email. It reads, quote, "You must be on camera 100% of the time during training." What, even if you're going potty or something? Because you are not, you are no longer needed to attend this meeting.
Whoa.
I told him I wasn't even, I told him it wasn't even 10 minutes and I just went to the bathroom. He told me I can only use the bathroom during my allocated break times. Maybe it's a good thing you don't work for this company anymore. Then he told me I can reapply once I'm more, quote, prepared for this job.
Oh,
some people.
Oh my God. Some people's kids.
Right? So my favorite is one of the first comments goes, "Next time, take a poop on camera." That's what they want.
Take it with you to the bathroom.
Take it with you to the bathroom. Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. Somebody goes, "Consider yourself lucky. This is not the job you want." Oof.
Dang.
Dang.
Is that the end of the story?
That is. So yeah, that's the end of the story.
Wow.
Also, FYI, for those listening who may not know, your employer cannot legally restrict you bathroom access.
My old employer used to do that.
They tried, but I actually looked it up one time.
Yeah,
they literally are not legally allowed to restrict your bathroom
access. So the job I had before I quit to Twitch stream, we had like a time tracker, right, on our computer that would track all of our daily tasks. And so when we moved from one task to another, we'd have to click into whatever task we were on, and it would keep track of our production and whatever. So anytime you left your desk to do non-work related things, like you'd go fill up your water bottle, you'd go to the bathroom, you'd take a phone call, whatever, it was called idle time. And we were only given so much idle time per day. I think it was like 15 minutes. So if you had longer than 15 minutes of idle time, you would get written up. Well, if you're not feeling well, or you've got digestive issues, or whatever, you're probably going to end up spending longer than 15 minutes in idle time. And so they would be very particular about critiquing everybody's idle time every time we had meetings. They would, bring up whose idle times were high, or as a group, our idle times were too high. So I definitely have feelings towards this whole story, but yeah, that's. I mean, I've heard stories of this happening for people working from home. Maybe not something quite this bad, but where they not only track like your mouse moving.
Yeah.
I've heard of some even where they track your eye movement. They use eye trackers.
I have so as part of my statistics PhD, I have a statistical program that I use, and you can get like certified in it and whatever. There is new software that allows you to take the test from your home computer, but they do track where your eye looks. So that if you had like you can't see my setup, but I have a 3 monitor setup basically for work. And so if I was taking the test on my middle monitor and I looked at my right monitor, they'd be like, hey, what are you looking at?
God.
But that's for a test.
Yeah, but still, like...
But still, I would say there are some people that make a good point, is that, yes, the employer cannot legally restrict your bathroom access. However, they didn't say going to the bathroom. You just literally wrote BRB and then left.
Yeah.
And then secondly, it was like the beginning of your day on board training in a Zoom call, and you left because dad had to grab some food from the fridge.
Yeah.
So I can see it both ways, but at the same time, I feel like you get a warning for that in real life.
Yeah.
You don't get fired.
No.
So there are some people who are like, is this even real?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't... That one is so tough because...
Well, it's only one side of the story.
Right. But you'd think with how hard it is for employers to hire people nowadays...
Yeah. That they wouldn't just fire them.
You wouldn't just fire somebody for being off camera for more than 10...
Right, because what if they just suddenly had to go to the bathroom, like, really bad?
Yeah.
And it would be so easy for someone to go to HR and be like, well, I just went to the bathroom because I had severe stomach issues.
Yeah.
And they fired me and they didn't even give me a warning. So I would be I'm kind of, part of me is like, wow, that's crazy. But the other part of me is like, is this real?
Or
did they just give you a warning?
Yeah.
You know.
That one's tough.
Yeah. So
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me nowadays with the way companies are with that kind of stuff, but it almost seems like it's not the full story. But there were other extenuating circumstances that led to it. Sounds like a crappy job anyway.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, no matter what, if you can only go to the bathroom during your bathroom breaks and you have to be on camera 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Forget it.
No, you don't want that job anyway.
No. Okay.
All right, what else you got today?
All right. Am I the asshole for asking? Making? Yes. For asking my girlfriend and her sister to cover up.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now, this is going to very heavily depend on the situation, I feel.
Yeah.
Like...
I feel like there better be a lot of, like, background story, like...
Yeah.
It'll be trying to know the background for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So the poster is 26 and a male.
Okay. 26-year-old male. All right.
Yep. So I have decided to work on my flexibility and mobility due to my injuries from playing soccer in high school and college. Okay. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What? No.
What? High school injuries?
Never heard of it.
My girlfriend of 2 years recommended I try yoga. She does yoga 3 times a week and is incredibly flexible and agile.
Okay.
But not cool enough for me to tell you how old she is.
Yeah.
She told me she would talk to her sister as she's a personal trainer.
Uh-oh.
I agreed. My girlfriend, myself, and her younger sister as the teacher, grammar please, have been doing yoga twice a week. That's all one chunk, by the way. There's no period after I agree.
Run-on sentence. Thank you.
It's a very big run-on sentence.
Come on, Reddit.
Ay. So they've been doing yoga twice a week at his house for the last 3 weeks. Great.
Fantastic.
I feel fantastic and really feel like it's been helping me. Great.
Yay.
Hooray for yoga. Yesterday, my mother called asking me if I was still going to give her the freezer I no longer used. I said yes and told her to come get it or I would take it to her the next day.
Okay.
Random, but sure.
Sure.
The freezer is in my garage where we do yoga. I usually do it shirtless, and my girlfriend and her sister are in sports bras and sweats.
Why would you do it shirtless?
I don't know. Maybe it's easier to get traction.
Okay, maybe he's just one of those guys.
I don't know. Some people are more comfortable that way.
Don't want to wear shirts.
Yeah. Also, maybe they're doing like hot yoga. So they get maybe they get super sweaty. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
In the middle of our yoga session, I get a notification that someone was at my door. It was my mom and dad. I headed to the door while putting on a shirt, but I asked my girlfriend and her sister to put on a top also.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun,
I feel
dun.
like that doesn't express what I'm looking for. The next sentence is, she gave me daggers for eyes, and her sister gave me a confused, who the hell are you look.
Ooh.
So what did you actually say?
Yeah.
I said, next part, I said, please, because my parents were coming in. Are you babies?
Yeah.
I let my parents in, and when I come back, they are still in their sports bras. My parents greet them and leave shortly after. They are clearly in the middle of working out, so who cares?
Yeah. All you would have had to have done is just preface the situation.
Like,
and go,
oh
hey,
yeah, we're in the middle of
we're
yoga.
doing yoga. You know.
Also,
No,
do your
we're having
parents
a giant
really care?
orgy. Like, who cares?
Clearly, you all have clothes on of some sort. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
My girlfriend's sister ends up leaving before we finish the session and told me that I am no longer her client because she's the teacher and she felt I disrespected her. Again, what did he actually say?
Yeah. I feel like he's covering his own tracks here with this one, where he's like, he knows what he said was probably horrible.
Yeah.
Or he said it in a very terrible way.
Yeah.
So he's trying to cover up his tracks.
Right, because all he said there's all this build up, and then it's like 6 words. That was like, well, I was going to the door while putting a shirt on. And then it says, but I asked my girlfriend and her sister to put on a top also. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What did you actually say?
Yeah.
Because then next part goes, I was confused and asked my girlfriend what she meant. And she said, dude, she has big boobs. She gets pooped on. I almost
use the word.
because it's not spelled right. And my brain went, what?
Mm-hmm.
She gets pooped on all the time like this. Not actually pooped, but like ragged on.
Yeah, you guys know what it is.
All the time. I feel that in my life. You need to apologize. Like now. I'll let it go, but you're a jerk.
Ooh. Yeah, see, to get a reaction from both of them. To get 2
reactions like that.
He had to have said it in a very disrespectful way.
Yeah, you didn't just go, oh, hey, can you put a shirt on too? Please, my parents are coming in.
Or just say, hey, if you're comfortable with it, could you throw a shirt on? If not, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even that would have been
would have been better.
That would have elicited a far better response from them than what he probably said.
Oh, yeah. So then it goes, I told her I will clear things up, but with her sister, but I will no apologize.
I will no apologize. Okay.
Because I didn't mean it that way. He sounds like a real good person.
Yeah.
So he clearly just said, as he was walking out the door, oh, hey, could you put a top on too? I'm sure that's what he said.
Well, to elicit.
Actually, considering that the actual title is, I asked them to cover up. That gives me vibes.
Yeah. I could see if you knew your parents were prudes and you knew that there was going to be a negative reaction from them.
Right.
But if you knew that was the case,
why didn't you tell them?
Still just don't say it in the way that he probably said it.
No. Or just ignore that happened.
And you would think if that was the case, his girlfriend would know.
Right.
If your girlfriend's with you for 2 years.
For 2 years,
she probably knows that your mom or your dad or them collectively are, prudes.
Yeah.
Or very, very, let's say it in the proper way, very, very conservative.
True.
And they would have a problem with it.
Right. But also,
But if he said that his parents didn't say anything, then that's probably not the case. So he probably said it.
Well, here's the kicker, is that he said he didn't mean it that way. And then the next sentence is, my girlfriend doesn't believe me and thinks I was trying to police her and her sister. That tells me that he said it real nasty.
Yeah.
He said one of those things that if, as a lady or anyone who doesn't wear a shirt all the time, wearing a tank top, and someone just gives you the googly eyes and you just feel gross.
Yeah.
Or they walk over and just do that thing where they're just like, ugh. It's really...
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's cool. Thank you for that.
They're like...
Make me feel like poop.
Yeah.
It's great. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you say that like you've had experience with that.
What? I didn't stop going to the gym because creepy old men kept trying to look in the windows while we were doing cycling class. Talking about... Oh, wait, I skipped the last... Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. ready to get confused.
All right, here we go.
I did start to think about it, and her sister is a good person. And I am thinking I did overstep the boundaries. I don't feel I did. What? Who is this person?
Whether or not you overstep the boundaries or not, you probably should go to that person and say, okay, what did I say that caused you to have the reaction that you did? Or something, you know what I mean? Like, clarify it so in the future you don't make the same faux pas again, even though you don't think you did. You know what I mean? Like, you would want to know. Even if you don't think you said something wrong, but somebody's reaction was not what you were expecting, wouldn't you want to know why, right?
Yeah. Sorry. It looks like the voters are very mixed.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Okay.
not very mixed. It's, wait, oops. Here it is. It's kind of long, so I'll just preface with,
Okay.
It starts with, oh yes, the I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and you can't stop me attitude.
Oh, good.
Yep. Time, place, and expected audience are a major factor in these sorts of situations. Social contracts on expected clothing and skin coverage vary from place to place and context to context. That's the same thing twice, but that's fine. Notice the word bra that was used. For a large portion of the population, bra is underwear, and sometimes you don't generally wear exposed in your front of. Have you been in the 21st century?
Yeah, where
have you been?
What year do you live in? Have you been outside?
Literally, the reply to this is sports bras are basically tops at this point.
Yeah. I mean, ever since you and I were in high school, that's been a thing. And that was 15, 20 years ago now.
Sorry, I just skipped down to, if the argument here was, hey, it's an itsy-bitsy bikini is fine at the beach, so why can't I wear one at my job at the law firm? What would you say?
For God's sakes. Don't you love the people that make those jumps? Those are my favorite.
Like, I scroll down and it takes up my entire screen. That's how long.
Oh my Lord.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs is this reply.
Clearly this person had something they had to get off their chest,
right?
And just had to say it that way. Good God. I love the people that make the, instead of making the, one level jump on the ladder, they go to the top of the ladder, and it's just, you're just like, what are you doing? That doesn't apply in this situation, but sure, why not?
Right.
I think he's the asshole.
I agree.
No matter what he said.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
He had to have said it.
He had to have said something
in a way that not only made his girlfriend upset,
but made her sister be like,
upset.
No way. Yep.
Yeah. There's no way he didn't. He didn't just say, hey, could you throw a shirt on quick? My parents are coming over.
Right.
Or he could have said, would you mind, just so there's not a reaction, right? Like, there's a way to say it that would not have gotten her upset.
There are many ways to say it, and I question what he did say because...
Or you could have just not worried about it.
Yeah. Well, that's like what this commenter said. Like, yeah, it's okay to give them a warning that someone's coming in case they feel uncomfortable in their bras, but you can't force them to
make
do
the
it.
decision.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they understand the setting and the context.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like you're walking into like she said, into a law firm or whatever.
Like if you are obviously there and you are obviously doing a workout, don't think your parents give two poops about what.
Yeah.
They don't give a flying fart in space, is one of my favorite movies said.
Also, like people like in a similar vein as people that will you have guests over your house, right, for whatever. And they'll walk into your personal bedroom and be offended by something. And it's like, this is a personal space.
This is my house.
I
live here.
It's kind of in that same thing where you're like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, this one definitely needs more context. Yeah. But
I agree.
Because they reacted the way they did, he did say it in a terrible way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Leave a comment on this one, because this one's tough, but I still think he's the asshole because of the reaction he got.
I agree.
Because you got to think that there was a better way he could have said it.
Okay, so the only context for this last one is from a Yahoo write-up, because they've since deleted their post.
Okay.
So I didn't feel like going into the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
Because it's because
Gotta
it's
go
just a
back
Wayback
in
Machine.
time.
So, okay. This is just going to give basically a blurb about how, like, what it was.
Okay, so we're going to have to fill in the context
So we're
on
going to
this.
have to fill in the context.
Okay.
A woman of color with a PhD is wondering if she's wrong for acknowledging that her own work was being mansplained to her.
Oh no. Oh no. I have heard of this happening in
Just
other
a couple
circumstances.
of
Yeah, okay.
Usually on Twitter.
These are my favorite.
It's usually on Twitter. Those are great.
Yeah.
The title is Professor Has Own Research Paper Mansplained to Her by Friend. Quote, you don't know what you're saying.
Oh, by a friend.
Well,
okay. We don't know how long they are actually going to be friends after this.
Yeah.
But okay.
So this was on Am I the Asshole? It is no longer there. This was written in December of 2022.
Okay.
So I would have to go to the Wayback Machine, which we're not going to do that, which is fine. So
you guys don't know the Wayback Machine is like an internet archive.
Yeah. There's a couple of, it's just called the Wayback Machine. I don't even know if that's actually what it's called.
That's what everyone calls it.
But yeah, that's what everyone calls it.
It's just a big internet archive.
It's just a huge internet archive.
You can go all the way back to like the mid to early 90s and look at pages from way
Which
back.
is very helpful. Which is also why, side note, if you put anything on the internet, it's literally on the internet forever.
Yep.
Just so you know. Be careful.
Yep.
Be careful out there.
Be careful, kids.
Right?
Okay.
It's rough in the streets. During a meetup with friends in academia, she met a mutual friend, a man currently pursuing a master's degree in the same field that she's got a PhD.
Okay.
Once the man realized they were in the same field, he instantly started quizzing her on her basics of her field.
Mind you, she has a PhD and he's getting his master's.
Working towards his master's.
So generally you would think she would have a better understanding of the topic than he would.
Or she just doesn't care.
She doesn't care about him, you mean?
No. Like, she doesn't care to explain the basics to...
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
To someone else. You'd be like, no? Then he started to mansplain a paper he had read to her. Great.
Uh-oh.
What he didn't know was that was a paper she herself had co-authored. So if you're not in academia, papers can have several authors. Sometimes when you just look up a quick blurb on the internet, it just says the very first author and the very last author. If you have more than two authors, you won't be seen.
Yes.
But I interrupted at one point to correct him. He tried to say I was wrong, and I just don't get it. Blah, blah, blah. Eventually, your friend cuts in and goes, dude, it's literally her paper. You don't know what you're saying. The guy gave her the cold shoulder for the rest of the night. Afterward, a friend told her she should have been forthcoming about her paper and credentials. Good for you, friend. They said it was embarrassing for him maybe not good for you, friend. The friend said it was embarrassing for him to correct the guy.
Why?
Maybe not good for you, friend. Don't be friends with these people.
No.
Obviously, Redditors sided with the poster on this issue.
Yeah.
He embarrassed himself. I think there's literally like 6 replies. Yeah, there's not very many comments.
Wow.
He embarrassed himself.
Yeah. She shouldn't have to defend herself against something that happened, something that she wrote.
Right.
That was clearly peer-reviewed and published.
Yeah.
So she shouldn't have to be like, I'm going to stop you right there. This is my paper, and I'm a PhD. Like, come on.
The cover, so the actual post may be deleted, but the comments are still there.
Oh, perfect.
So let me tell you, I'm going to read one. Not the asshole. Dude got overexcited and assumed that he knew more than the person he just met, who's in the same field, who is of the opposite gender. They didn't put that part.
And
I just
who has
added
a
that part
PhD?
in.
Who has a PhD?
Right. He spilled the spaghetti. He can deal with the embarrassment of wearing it for a while.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I'm going to say that forever now.
That
if he's smart, he'll attempt to make amends and then pick your brain for insight and info.
That would be like an undergraduate questioning you on your knowledge of statistics.
That's never happened. What are you talking about? But no, my favorite thing that ever happened was some kid emailed me, which is, so remember when I was saying before that I had to grade all these tests because the other TA literally was not in the country anymore?
Yes.
So this happened right before we found out the guy wasn't in the country anymore. It was about 2 weeks before that, and he took the bus. Side note. So I got an email about a lab class. I was like, great, cool. And the kid was like, yeah, I got marked as not attending the lab class, but per the policy, the instructor was over 5 minutes late.
Oh, one of those.
And so it shouldn't have counted. And I emailed back, went, there is no actual policy.
Yeah, for anybody in college,
None.
who's currently in college, coming from people who have 4 degrees between them,
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
No.
Unless specifically stated.
Right.
Everyone thinks that's a thing, just a universal truth in college. That if a professor is, like, say,
15 minutes late,
X amount of minutes late,
yeah,
the class is canceled, or things, name your thing is changed or doesn't exist or doesn't,
yeah.
That's not a thing unless specifically stated in a syllabus or a handbook or whatever. But that's not a universal truth. That's just everyone knows and follows in college. Generally, if a professor is going to be late or something's happened, the class will be notified.
Yes. However,
but they're not just going to cancel class because they're 5 minutes late.
Dude, I literally sat in high school one time, my entire calculus class. We just sat there and did our homework. And then halfway through the class, the principal just happened to show up to talk to our teacher, and he was like, is he not here? And we were like,
Yeah. And that's high school.
That's high school. But yeah, no, just so you know, if you are wondering, there is no policy in real life that says if your professor or your lab leader or whatever is X amount of minutes late, the class is canceled. That's not true.
No. Yeah, it's 100% in her right to just let the guy make a fool of himself.
Oh, yeah.
I
may or may not have done that before.
I mean, maybe, the thing is too, maybe, we don't know the context of this, but maybe this has happened to her many times. And she saw it coming from a mile away and was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I could step in and say something to this guy, but this time I'm going to let him eat it.
Also, she could have had like a real long day and been like, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with this right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, not that that's ever happened.
Because she's clearly seen it coming. And knew what was happening. And was like, yeah, this is my work, but I'm not going to say anything to him and let him figure it out.
But yeah. I think once he starts arguing and telling her that that she's wrong,
yeah,
then you just let him talk and you go, oh, I see. If you're ever talking to me and I start doing that, just stop. Just give up.
She likes to do that when we'll be watching a TV show or a sporting event. And
mostly sporting events.
Said commentator, especially in sports, said commentators will just be like rambling on about something, just will not shut up. And she'll just be over in her chair just going,
God.
And I laugh every time. It is the funniest thing. So yeah, it's not on her to say anything. He should have done his research, know who you're talking to.
Yeah. Actually, it's even funnier when you don't talk about it at all. I've done this before, and I've been I have PhD. In writing my PhD, I wrote a 400-page paper. Mm-hmm. It is now a book on my bookshelf.
It is.
I have had it just the handful of times I've had to be on a Zoom call. It's not Zoom, but same thing. I've had it just over my shoulder. So if somebody says stuff and starts coming at me and I'm like, cool. Right, about that. What did, and who did this? Where did you find the statistics for this?
Excuse me, do you have a book?
Excuse me?
No, you don't. Thanks.
No, thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't her work, just her being a PhD, and being mansplained, or even not, just being explained, by a
basically like
by a potential master's candidate, is still wrong, in my opinion. Like, she shouldn't have to put up with it, even if it wasn't her work.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
Oh, I totally agree.
just by having the PhD and having the position that she has, she shouldn't have to deal with it.
No,
I mean,
I
she should
100%
let that guy totally eat it and just be like, that's your problem, dude. Yeah. My stomach just
I was
grumbled.
like, was that your stomach?
And you might hear that on mic. I'll have to decide how loud that is, whether or not I want to keep it in the edit.
Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you guys think of these? Let us know. Put a comment in the chat or in the comment
Leave a
section
comment.
of YouTube.
If you're just listening, thank you.
Yeah.
For you listening. Also, if you can't leave a comment, that's okay. We are both on Twitch, so if you ever are on Twitch and want to check us out, Maverick21FM, I'm Ducktergoose, and you can come talk to us about it there.
Yeah. Let us know. Be like, hey, I heard your podcast and I have a comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll be like, yay!
It'll be great. And we will talk about it for all the time.
Yeah. You will be
It'll be great.
Our favorite person.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So leave a comment, rate the podcast, please.
Yes, please
leave
us
YouTube,
a rating.
Like, comment, and subscribe. If you've got stories you want us to talk about, put them down in the comments. Reach out to us on social media. Just find a way to contact us, and we will do our best to find said stories, and we will talk about it. We're going to try to do a podcast every 2 weeks.
Yep.
So,
just because we are relatively busy.
Super busy. So, thank you guys for listening. Have a great next 2 weeks, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.